Alright, so I did a first video on Bookmap, which was kind of a short introduction a few days ago, and some people seem to be quite interested in me going a bit more in depth in another video, so that's what it's going to be. You'll have to excuse me with the sound. It's a very hot day here in Bangkok today, and I have the AC on full blast, so I hope it's not too much of a hindrance. Alright, so let's get into it. Listen, I think if you haven't seen the previous video, definitely go have a look at it, because I give you a good introduction to how Bookmap works. I'm gonna do another very short introduction on what it is. So basically, the big green dots are big market buy orders. Well, all the green dots are market buy orders, and the red dots are market sell orders. And when I say a market order, is an order where you just click on the button, right? Buy right now 5, 10, 20 contracts, right? As opposed to a limit order, where you just put a limit order at a certain price. You say, okay, if price gets up to 33, 37 here on gold, well, I will short whatever amount of contracts. So these, by the way, these lines here that you see are limit orders that have been set in advance by various traders. So here, for example, you have 40 contracts, right, that are ready to sell at this price at 33, 37. Here on this line, you had a bunch of contracts. I don't know how many because they're gone now, but you had a bunch of contracts, and the market orders just pushed through for a while, actually, and then price went back down. More orders here bought these market orders, these limit orders bought them, and then these limit orders bought this finally, and then boom, pushed down. Okay, so that's the introduction. Again, go check out the previous video. You'll have a bit of a longer one. Now, what I want to do, I've selected here a few trades from these are screenshots from my journal, and I'm going to show you. I think let's start with the oldest one, actually, 0040 T1. Okay, let's open these. This one. So that's how, this was a mistake. Okay, that's interesting. Let me show a mistake then. Okay, so you have a price pushing up. Let me zoom in here. You had a buy iceberg. I'm not going to get into that, but buy iceberg is basically a limit order that would have been on Bookmap, but you can't see it. It's a kind of a secret hidden order. So here apparently there was a buy iceberg here, which bought a bunch of contracts. But don't worry about this. Basically it's absorbing price, but you can't really see the line and the amount of contracts. So you had an iceberg, price pushed up, tested the VWAP here, that's the white line, the VWAP, pushed down, retested, failed, and then I thought this would be a breakout, which was in hindsight a mistake. These are one of the first trades I was taking with Bookmap, so I was still figuring it out actually. But I'll show you what it looks here. So you had this push up, first test of the VWAP push down, second test failure, and third test, for some reason I thought it would break out, which there was no reason for that. And I wrote it down here in hindsight, mistake, lack of buyers on the retest, right? I just thought because we closed above the VWAP here again, it was good enough, but not at all. And there were some absorbed shorts here apparently, so I thought, oh, if they absorb short here, they're gonna push up. We had this big buy iceberg here, so you know it's bullish. It wasn't a terrible idea, but when you see this, so now I'm zooming in, so this shorts were absorbed here, indeed. You see kind of like a medium plus sized dot, right? Sold here and price couldn't push down. So there was some absorption here, right? Absorbing meaning there's limit orders that are absorbing the selling power. So there's a big buyer or a decent buyer that's absorbing this. So that's telling me it's quite bullish, right? Here again, you can see some absorption, right? You have this red dot here and price didn't push down. It just kind of stagnated here. So then I entered a long based on that, based on these absorptions. But I wasn't patient enough, and I clearly, if you see the size of that green dot here, compared to the size of this one and all of that buying power, you had some pretty decent buyers that got absorbed here because price didn't push up. And here you have a small buyer, right? So how is price going to push higher if these guys weren't able to do it? This guy is certainly not going to be able to do it, right? You see the logic of that? And then price basically pushed down, and then you had a huge seller, which really started to move price. Okay, I'm going to get into some other trades. So we did, which one was that? That was the mistake. Boom. Let's see what this one is. That was a good trade that lasted about 1.5 minutes apparently. These are the trades that I like. Okay, what happened here? Oh, that's pretty nice. That's a perfect one. Okay, you have a push-up. You have a big green buyer, right, at the price of 31.20 in this area, right? Big green buyer. Price does nothing, just stays there, doesn't push up. This buyer should be pushing up, and then some more buyers should be stepping in, nothing, right? So absorption, clear absorption. Again, absorption was that. You have some either hidden orders or visible orders. I'm not seeing any really like red lines here, so I didn't see any clear orders, but clearly there were some hidden orders because this guy never was able to push price up. Immediately you have some sellers stepping in, which I could have shorted here already, to be fair. But this was even better. We have some buyers pushing price up. We go to the same level, right, 31.20, but this time with even less buyers than we had here. So this is what you call exhaustion, right? Like you're exhausted, like price is like, it gets back there and it's tired. It doesn't want to keep on going. And that's basically buyers testing again, but you have like lack of interest. It's a loss of interest in the bullish momentum, in the bullish movement, right? And immediately after that, huge seller step in, like a pretty decent seller and then a big one. So apparently I entered right here, okay? I mean, I'm sure that makes sense to you because it's quite simple in the end and quite logical, very logical. So what did it look like here? Push up, big buyers here that got absorbed, right? We saw that on the screenshot, the Bookmap screenshot. We have a first failure and then a retest, and we saw that here we had only a small green dot, right? And then entered the big sellers, and I was like, I just got to get in this move. I didn't even wait for that candle to close on the 1 minute, mind you, because this was so clear to me. Like, just pause the video, take a screenshot yourself, because it doesn't get much better than that. We were at the VWAP apparently, but let's imagine you do your own TA and you have a level of resistance here, right? Whether it's a VWAP, basic support and resistance, maybe a Fibonacci level, whatever you use, and you see absorption, retest with no more interest, and then big sellers. I mean, honestly, that's for me, that's 100%, 90% chance of winning setup. If you're not greedy, huh? Because look, I wasn't very greedy here. You never know what's gonna happen. We have some lows here. We could now grab these lows and push completely back up. But you have a strong downtrend. That's the perfect trade. Just take a screenshot of this because honestly, it doesn't get much better than this. All right, this is the live Bookmap. Okay, let's do, yeah, this is the one. Okay, so now we did this. You can put that aside. Let's have a look at these. Okay, so we had a win here. I'm guessing we had some absorption here and then some buyers stepping in. Oh yeah, okay. So we have a little bit of a range here. Is that the one really? Yeah. So we have a bit of a range here, right? With there's more buyers. You can see more green dots than red dots in this range. There's a failure to push up here, goes down. And this is, if you want to see what a fake out looks like on TradingView, on a Bookmap, that's a fake out, right? Little range, break below. A lot of sellers enter here, right? You have a decent sized red dot here, and then a huge red dot here that pushes down. Fails because there's hidden limit order here. We never hit that limit order, right? This one was lower, never got hit. There were probably some hidden limit orders here, which you call an iceberg. You can see Okay, I'm not going to get too much into icebergs, but yeah, they're hitting limit orders that you can't see on Bookmap, and this is an indicator that I don't have. This was from a live stream on YouTube. Some guy was sharing his like Bookmap live. He doesn't have his channel anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, a big limit order here that was hidden that bought up this big guy. So these shorts were now trapped. They were absorbed by the limit order. And then immediately you got some buyers. It's less of an ideal setup because you don't have like big green dots. You have kind of medium-sized dots. But you have 3 in a row. You have some nice momentum. So I entered the long here. This rectangle is my stop loss, right? It was below here. And this was my take profit up here. And I think if I remember well, we went all the way up to that huge limit order. So there was a pool of orders here. So price was probably attracted to that. But I'm not a greedy trader. I do 1-to-1, 1 to 1.5 max. I just like to win fast and move on, you know. And I don't have the balls to hold into a trade for too long. You know, it's a question of experience. Maybe I'll do it more in the future, but I'm just happy to get like a very high win rate, high probability trade, right? And just take my profits and just move on. You never know what price is going to do. And if you have a strategy with good win rate, like 1-to-1, 1 to 1.2, 1.5, it's just, it's fine. Yeah, so let's see what it looked like again on the charts. Little range, fake out, huge sellers here that got absorbed. And then you got a few green dots here that pushed up, and then just price went. And that trade was on the 1 minute, I believe, yeah. So that was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 like that trade lasted 8 minutes and then kept on pushing up, as you can see. That's just, I mean, I just love it, man. I can't, like, this is not sponsored content, as you can tell. Like, I don't have any affiliation with Bookmap. I have 40 followers or something. So this is just me telling you that's a great product. Okay, one last trade. I hope this is not too long for you, but I mean, when I watch YouTube videos, I like to have as many examples as I can. So, okay, there's a lot of commenting on this one. Let's see what happened. Downtrend, push up, failure. Strong downtrend plus absorption longs. Yeah, again. Okay, so strong downtrend. You had some shorts absorbed here, but we don't need to comment on that because we're looking for a continuation of the downtrend. Price pushed up. You had some decent sized buyers. It's not a huge green dot, but it's pretty decent. And price didn't push up. It tried a little bit here. Let me zoom in. Pushed up, decent size longs. A second attempt with a very shy, very weak attempt, right? With this green dot, and price failed. So let me see where I entered here. It's this one. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, we don't have the whole thing. So basically, I didn't enter here, which I could have. And we were at a Fibonacci, by the way. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Just draw your support and resistance. We have a resistance here. You can see like it broke down, and this is now a level of resistance here. And it was a Fibonacci, so there was nice confluence on the level. And so I entered, oh no, I did enter here. Okay, this is what happened. Fibonacci, failure of longs, exhaustion and absorption here at the top. Then some sellers enter. I got a bit late. I was a bit shy here on my entry. I should have entered here, to be honest. But I wanted to enter here. I was like, no, wait for a little pullback. And I put a limit order, I think, over here. So price got my limit order. This was a bit worrying. Oh no, I stopped myself out. Look at that. Oh, that's interesting. So that's a mistake. That's a beautiful mistake. I'm glad I can show you that example. So that's not a Bookmap analysis mistake. It's a lack of confidence mistake, and it's a lack of patience, and yeah. So basically, price pushed down. You can see on Bookmap, right? Unfortunately, I think I don't have the whole scenario here. All right, wait a second, because I closed the window apparently. Okay, so I got out of here. I understand why, but you shouldn't, it was a panic stop. So, okay, here I entered, yeah, so I saw this absorption, I saw the downtrend, I was like, okay, let me enter. It pushed down. I think my limit order was probably on that little retrace here, and price went immediately up, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna reverse. And we don't have the rest of the scenario here, unfortunately, but I'm guessing these guys failed right when I stopped myself out, right? I stopped myself out at the top, mind you. Well, lesson, you know, take a lesson from this one. Manual stop, never. That's the lesson I gave myself later. Big short absorbed at the 1 hour. Oh, I got worried because here is a Fibonacci level on a higher time frame, right? On the 1 hour, I can't zoom out, but more than that. But there was a big Fibonacci level here, and I thought, oh, we might reverse the trend. I understand that, but what I'm telling myself now is like, I'm not trading the 1 hour time frame. I'm trading the 1 minute within maybe the 15-minute or the 5-minute trend, right? And just take the loss. This is what I'm telling myself, like, you have a good setup, keep your stop loss where it is. There's no point like trying to stop yourself out here and, you know, saving a couple dollars, you know, there's just no point. I stopped myself out at the top, like the perfect top, right? And then I'm guessing we had some longs being absorbed here, some exhaustion probably. Here they probably tried to long again. You probably had a medium-sized green dot here, and then a smaller one here, and then a big red dot here, and just a perfect trade. I mean perfect, no, because it retraced, but it was a good trade. Okay, so these are all the examples. Just you know, scroll back and pause if you want to go into more details. Here is the trade I took this morning. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I can show you that. I'll find a screenshot. Because this one is not a breakout trade, which I don't take too often. So have a look at this. You can see what happened here. The gray boxes are levels of support and resistance, obviously. What happened here, I wanted to short here and I was too hesitant and I shorted here, which was a bit more risky. But you had highs here, you had a liquidity grab, right? Price faked out, so you had big buyers here that got trapped and absorbed by probably a limit order, right? And then immediate sellers. And for some reasons, I was more looking at long because of the structure. Look at that structure, right? It was pretty bullish. So I was counting on this being a breakout. I just didn't want to short this, but I definitely could have. On account of we are at a resistance, we did a liquidity grab. I'm going to show you the screenshot, but there was some absorption here of the big longs, and then immediate shorts entered. So what I did is, I just saw this as a big failure. I saw that we were now breaking this support, and let me try and get into this on a 1 to 1.3 risk to reward. The wick filled me, pushed back up, and then it went back down some more. Okay, so let me show you what that looked like on Bookmap. I think I have the screenshot here. 050, yeah, that's it. I don't have what happened at the top. That's unfortunate because I could have showed you the absorption and what happened at the liquidity grab. But just imagine basically big green dots being absorbed and then some red dots entering. So we went down, we broke a level of support here that I showed you on the graph, right? We were breaking it, and we had this big seller which kind of got absorbed, but they tried to push, they failed, that's why I put a little cross here. And there was just no buying interest at all. Like these guys tried to buy, then nothing, and then sellers, I was like, it's not big sellers here, it's a more risky trade for sure. Because you could have easily had absorption here, like big sellers being absorbed, right? Because it doesn't really push down immediately. And then just like small sellers, so lack of interest, exhaustion, and then buyers could have stepped in and pushed up, right? So it was a bit of a risky trade, not ideal because I missed that and I wanted to get into that because we broke that support. So that was a $237 win, that was pretty nice. Okay, that's for that trade. Yeah, this is a continuation trade, right? You see like a downtrend, big sellers, no buyers. This wasn't great, honestly, but I entered somewhere down here, I'm guessing. Okay. Listen, I have a lot more, you know, examples, but I think I showed you really like all you need to see, really. Again, I can do some more videos on Bookmap. I can do some. Okay, next time what I can do is not show you necessarily my trades, but just go on the live Bookmap and go backwards. I can load like the previous hours, but I'm not going to do that now. And just show you like what price did. I can show you what price did here at 9 a.m. We had a push down, sellers, and this time not really absorption here because you didn't have like a big red dot at the bottom. All you had is just buyers being interested. I don't know if I would have taken that because I like to see some absorption. These guys didn't get absorbed. They did push price down, but then just buyers stepped in. You had a bit of exhaustion here, you could say, I guess, because the dots were smaller here. Push up. This is nice. You see a push up. You see some sellers. They kind of get absorbed, I guess. Then some buyers enter, push up. You know, these sellers definitely got absorbed. That's more interesting. They push down. Nothing. No pushing down. You know, no continuation on the way down and buyer stepping. That's just continuation. Here are big buyers, and that's interesting. Here you have a reversal. Buyers are getting even bigger as we go up, right? These are bigger than the previous ones. You see you had a big limit order here, which kind of absorbed this, but it still pushed up a little bit. More limit orders absorbing, and then you have exhaustion, right? Just like price gets tired, the longs are not interested anymore. Like nothing happened here. And then big sellers, that's a decent short, right? You can enter here at 30.32, stop loss at 30.37, let's say, and take profit if you're greedy, you know. But you can take profit at 33.24. I mean, that's a very good trade, right? And then you see these shorts being absorbed here, some buyers entering, and boom, we're back to the uptrend. And now, that's interesting. Big buyer, how many contracts? Look at the bottom left. Look here. Volume 150, that's a lot. And you have all these limit orders that are being filled. So either you have some sellers that try coming in here, they fail, and then you got some more big buyers that push price up, or this is absorption, and maybe we're going to push a little bit more up, you have some more orders here, and it's going to fail and go down. I don't know, I'm not interested. I had my win today. If we were live, watching this live, I would definitely stay and we could check it out together and wait just to see what happens. But I think that's going to be it for today. By the way, speaking of live, I haven't done it in a while because I'm in a new house here and I don't have like the proper internet connection installed. But as soon as I do, I'll be trading live for an hour or two every day at 8 a.m., 7 a.m. Asia town. So I don't know if that works for some of you guys. Asia time, Bangkok time to be precise, 7, 8 a.m. Until 9, 10 a.m. Okay, that's it for today. Well, look at that. That's absorption right there. Not a lot of shorts entering, but wow, huge buyers. All the limit orders didn't even get filled, by the way, because you still have a lot left here. It would get black here. If all of these got filled, it would be dark here, like it is here. Some sellers, but you got to be careful here because you have some buyers entering again. If these buyers do fail, that's already not a bad short, to be fair. Even though there's not a lot of sellers, the fact that this big boy here got absorbed, not a bad short. A bit late to enter, but could have entered at 35. TP around 29 or so. But you don't know, maybe, yeah, no, that's looking great, wow. Look, these buyers here, they just failed immediately. Now we're lower than that. See that? Let's see, price could push up, of course, but this is a nice setup. But the entry should have been somewhere around here. But what I would have wanted to see on a trade like this is some bigger sellers here, right? I showed you the perfect setup is absorption and then boom, big red sellers, market sellers. But yeah, it's going down, look at that. I'm glad I could show you this live actually. That's it, that's the setup. Not perfect, not a lot of sellers entered the market, but that's already a win. You enter at 34, right? Stop loss at 37 and TP at 30. Boom, that's a one-to-one. You can be a bit more, you know, ask for more. I mean, a move like this is looking really good. Maybe aim for these lows here at 29, 28. Okay, that's it guys. It's a pretty long video, I think. So yeah, let me know in the comments, you know, how you felt about that video. If you feel there's some things I didn't explain that well, if you want for me to get into more details in absorption, exhaustion, or maybe more breakout trades, just show you maybe some more of my trading journal. Just let me know. Let me know what you're interested in, and I'll be happy to just